will come in two boxes. One, the wing, one, all the hardware mounts. Inside here, I already cut it open. You open it up, and it'll be a bubble wrapped wing. It looks crazy. Let's pull it out. Absolutely weighs nothing. It's a matte carbon finish. It's a very, 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 very fine point connection between the two carbon fiber sides. And then it has this plastic wicker that goes all the way across. And then it comes with the carbon fiber end plates already on. Now inside the other box here, we have a list of everything that the wing includes. It's all on the bottom. And then you have your OEM mounts from the GTS. You know, all your hardware that will be needed, your washers, and then your main mounts, which are already powder coated in black. The car is so clean right now. It's honestly gonna make me sad doing this to his car. But for what we're building, it'll be worth it. This spoiler will be coming off. It's from my last build, so I went ahead and just threw it on. The holes go about right here. The first step to install the Bimmerworld wing is to remove the panel underneath the trunk. What you'll need for this job is a Phillips screwdriver and probably like a pry tool or a flathead screwdriver. Just begin working all these tabs off. They're plastic tabs, they're not actually screws. So just be patient with it. Once you get all those off, pop the tab here. And then there's two tabs, and this thing will just simply come out. Also, for the emergency latch, go ahead and take that off. Once you pretty much pry off all those tabs, you're good to go ahead and take off the cap. So just come up, work it around the adjusted tabs. Now let's do it. From this point forward, it's actually getting quite serious. Now it's time to actually begin the install process. It's a lot of cutting, and I'm super OCD. These wings do come with some caps that go on top of the trunk to hide your ugly cuts, but they are back ordered, and I also would rather not rock those because it'd be a cleaner look. Now, I'm shooting for perfection. Technically, you could also buy like a GTS trunk that already have the holes, or you could just cut it up and use those caps. Those caps are plan B. GTS trunk is plan C. Plan A is to make this thing perfect. So here's the mount that we have to drill holes through. For the BMW M4, you want it to be spaced 34 inches from 5/8. For F80, you want it 36, 13, 16. To adjust that, you just go forward or back. For the F82, it's like pretty much all the way back, and that's where we're gonna drill the holes on both sides. I marked it with a marker. And you can see in the bottom, it's right tucked on the edge. So you know exactly where to cut your holes. I went ahead and put Scotch tape on this, and then I cut around it and cut the holes out. Now I can peel this off. And that's my template. To me, that is the easiest way to drill a hole that you really can't figure out. A lot of people will like put a marker or like a paint around the hole. There's a lot of ways you can do this, but Scotch tape has always been my go-to. Okay, once those holes are all cut out, go ahead and bolt on the bracket. Try your absolute best to draw a line of where you need to cut out the skeleton. Don't cut all the way through the trunk. Now that I have it marked with a Sharpie where I want to cut the skeleton out, I'm going to take the bracket off and I'm going to use a Dremel to cut this. Again, be extremely slow, careful. This is not something that you would want to rush or even consider rushing. We have been using a Dremel and the Milwaukee saw, so this is actually really difficult. There's like a composite material that you see, but underneath that is like a hardened steel. Hanging on by a thread, and we're using all of our muscle trying to get it off. It's not gonna be possible to make this bottom side look pretty. I'm gonna stand down and do my absolute best, but what's gonna be mostly important is the next layer, which is the actual trunk itself. We still have to do the other side. Once we're done with that, I'll cut back. So where we're at is I cut out all this hardened steel and then I put the bracket back on. I used a drill bit and I just lined it up against here. I used tape around the drill bit so I don't damage it, but I just literally pressed it and went on the very end of the bracket and drilled through the trunk. Now that we got holes up on top, now I'm going to take a straight edge, draw some perfect lines connecting the holes, and then we'll expand it in the directions that we need to. After cutting it hole to hole, lines look fantastic, honestly. That goes
that's how you do it right there.
Just snug. And then when we actually get the car painted, I install this for like kind of like the final time. I'm gonna use a little bit of silicone just to fill up that gap and make sure it's watertight. It looks really good. Okay, just like that. The mounts are on, dude. Mounts are on. That is insane. That looks so good. And they're super sturdy. I mean, this is chassis mounted technically because it goes to the brackets which go onto the chassis. And then when the trunk is shut, it's also technically on the chassis. So chassis mounted Swan Neck Wing, just like a factory GT4 wing or mounted like a GTS wing. It's crazy. I don't know if it goes on the inside or outside. Looks like the outside.
Well, that's cool. They even give you those half adjustments in between those too.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
All right, drop the car. Let's see how it looks driving down the road.
What's gonna happen one day is you're gonna be putting groceries back there. It's gonna catch wind and chop you in half.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would hurt. It's probably gonna happen one day too.
That'd be the worst.
Yeah.
Way cooler rolling down the street than it does sitting in the garage.
Turbo.
Well, there she sits with the Bimmerworld GT wing. It's so cool how it's mounted. Again, if you look at it, I know it's not clean, but it just looks like it goes straight into the trunk. Super sick. The next video is going to be actually the hood. We're about to do it, so stay tuned for that. Look at that girth, dude. Woo. And that's how you install one of these wings. We start at 9 a.m. and it's like 4 p.m. It took forever. This was no simple wing install like all the other ones have. Big Country Lab, I think we did it in like 30 minutes. So if you're planning on getting this wing, just be patient. That's all it's gonna be. Be creative. Use the tools you have a couple of different type of saws, and just be prepared to be patient. It looks so good. What do you think, Rube?
Looks great.
Looks crazy. All right, guys, as always, keep living life. I'll see you next time.